Hi everyone, welcome back to the Wildness Podcast. My name is Maria. I'm a mom of one and I live in Glasgow in Scotland. I'm a scientist by day, and in any other free time I knit. And here on this podcast I talk about all things knitting related, things that I'm doing right now, things that I have been finishing, that I would love to cast on in future, bits and bobs that I bought. And it's just an easy, fun chat. We'll have a cup of tea, we'll work on our knitting, and just see what I got up to. So if you fancy seeing and hearing all of that, grab your tea or coffee, grab your whip, and let's get to it. How have you guys been? Let me know, tell me. We have been okay. I think my daughter, her name's Emma, she just turned 1 last month, I need to say now. And I think she's hitting another sort of sleep regression or whatever it may be. But yeah, it's tricky, but it's been okay. We've been going on a lot of walks, and I've been getting actually quite a little bit of knitting in here and there in between nap times, and sometimes even when she's playing with her own toys on her own. So yeah, it's actually not been too bad. We've had sort of alrightish weather. It's been rainy a few times, but honestly not too bad for January in Scotland, so can't really complain. And yeah, I think that's there's not much else going on here these days. So this video will take on a little bit of a different format than my other videos have. I'm trying to film a bit more frequently because I really enjoy it, and I enjoy editing these videos together and trying to get a bit creative with it and just upping my skills as well in terms of editing. And also I wanted to take the pressure away from feeling like I can only film another episode if I have loads of whips finished and if I have loads of new interesting things acquired and loads of new interesting things on my needles. I think that's sort of creating a little bit of a false impression, but also B, pressure for everyone, because then it looks like, oh my god, she's super active and I'm not. What am I doing wrong, you know? There's somebody on YouTube here, Sandnes Garn, who's actually talking about that in one of her videos and why she doesn't want to make any podcasts anymore. And because there's just so much focus on just producing, and it feels like you're lagging and you're not as quick as other people, and it's creating a little bit of pressure, and that's just not nice. You know, knitting is about slow fashion. It's putting love and time and effort into a garment that you really want to make, that sort of you feel like is going to fit your body and it's going to look great on you, and that's why you're taking the time and making all the effort and putting all the effort into it. And if you see loads of people just go through stuff as if it's nothing, then that's kind of taking a little bit of the essence of knitting kind of away, which is just to produce something with intention and slowly and loads of care and love. So I totally understood where she was coming from and why she doesn't want to do it anymore. And so I thought, you know what, Maria, it doesn't matter if you have only one thing finished or even if you have nothing finished. It's just nice to come here, have a chat with you guys, up my editing skills, be a bit creative, see where I can take these podcasts, and then just have a nice wee chat with everyone. That's what I wanted these podcasts to be from the get-go. So yeah, so it might not be as interesting and filled with a ton of whips or whatever, but that's just the way knitting is, you know. It's slow fashion. Okay, after that mental brain dump, let's get into the video, I guess. I filmed loads of different clips about all the different segments that I usually have, which is the finished objects, the whips, and then also the things that I have bought recently. So I filmed clips all over the week whenever I had a bit of time and thought, you know what, now I can actually film a little segment on it, because that just fits better into my life right now and into the amount of time that I have right now. And I'll see if I can make it work in those videos. It'd be good if I could, because it's really hard to fork out an hour at a time to sit down and film these videos when we have enough light in the house, when I have sort of everything with me. So it's easier if I can film little clips here and there rather than one cohesive video in like one sitting. So that's what I'm trying out this episode. We'll see how it goes. Let me know how you like it, and if you prefer a whole kind of sit down and just chat in one go video, which is kind of traditionally what podcasts look like. But yeah, I'm trying this out. Bear with me. I'm trying to be creative. I'm trying to see what my jam is with these podcasts, with these YouTube videos. So we'll just try it out. So first up is my finished object. My only finished object this week is my festival sweater. I told you guys I am not going to show you this again as a whip. It has been for way too many times. Very unjustly. It's been sitting on my needles for a long time, and there's just been other things that come and gone and were a little bit more interesting here and there. So this got put to the back burner a few more times than it should have, but finally done and dusted. The festival sweater by Petite in my size. It's got, I think this one has about 13 centimeters of positive ease, which is really lovely. It's not too oversized. It still kind of has a little bit of fit to it. I've worn it a ton already, and it's a very lovely fabric that's been created by the Double Sunday from Sandnes. That's the main yarn. The color is almond. And the striped rows are done in Sunday by Sandnes, and I'll put the colors all below so that you can see. I really love the effect that this created to use a lighter yarn for the bubble row colors. It's not as obvious and thick, and if you have loads of scrap yarn that you could use, by all means go for the different weight. It totally works. There's no problem, I think. Yeah, I'm really loving this jumper. I should have finished it a long time ago, and as some of you may know, Emma has got one that's exactly the same colorway, so we can be matching, and I'm so looking forward to that. While she still doesn't want a say in what she's wearing, I'm just gonna put her in stuff that matches me. So yeah, hopefully we get some photos taken today. But it was a really lovely thing to knit up. Really easy to do. Once you get a hang of these bubble rows and how they're made, then it's really quick to just kind of walk through. And yeah, I think it looks very neat. The only problem that I've had was when I finished washing it for the first time to lay out and block. I usually put my things in the washing machine, spin them at 800, and then they are quite dry already, and I just need to lay them out for a day or so. But this time it seemed to have felted the fabric that was created a little bit, so things shrunk in the wash, and I can definitely feel how it sits a bit more tightly, especially around the arms. I wasn't able to stretch it out enough, and that's such a shame because I worked so long on it, and it's expensive yarn that I've used. I don't know why it happens with this washing machine. It never happened with the one that I had before, so I'm a bit gutted about that. I think in future I need to just put it in a pillowcase or just not put anything in the washing machine at all, and then just use a towel to wring out a lot of the water. That's a shame though, because that takes a lot longer to dry, so I'm a bit gutted by that, and it didn't happen with my old washing machine, so I'm not quite sure why it happened this time. But here we are. I was still able to kind of stretch it a little bit afterwards, so it didn't lose a lot of its shape, but I think I did still lose quite a few centimeters. And I was really hitting gauge when I was swatching, so a bit gutted, but we'll learn from it. We'll learn from it and do better next time. But yeah, that's my one finished object. In terms of whips, I have a few new things going. Maybe I'll start with what I still have on my needles from last time, and it's the Dahlia cardigan, which I'm knitting for my little daughter Emma. There we go. I've not done anything since last time I talked to you guys. I've only sort of finished the lace part in the on the top of the yoke, And now I'm just needing to continue to create the body, sleeves and so on. It's knitted in Sandnes Alpakka Silke, which is this lovely, lovely, very soft yarn. I think it's like fingering weight. Ooh, don't quote me. But it's a lovely mauve color. I can't wait for her to have that. I'm not too stressed about finishing this. It's a nice small whip that I can easily carry with me in a handbag when I'm out and about. So I quite like that about it. And I think it'd be great if she'd have it by the end of March, because we're invited to a wedding and I know she's got a little dress that would go really well with it. So there's not really that much pressure to finish it. And I've got loads of other stuff that I'm knitting that's a bit more exciting. So yeah, that's the first one. And it's in my little Petite knitting bag. Then the second thing that I'll show you is something I'm knitting from my what I want to knit in 2023 list, if you want to go watch that video after. And it's my first slipover that I've started. It's just here. It's the Snowfield slipover from CoCo Amour knits. And I'm knitting this one in a very lovely yarn combination, surprisingly lovely to be honest. It's drops air and drops soft tweed. I can actually show it this way. I think this is in wheat and this is in sand. I think so. And it's creating a really lovely speckled effect fabric, which is so soft, so soft. I literally cannot wait to wear this. And I love the way that the fabric is turning out and how the speckled effect comes about from the mix of the two colors. Yeah, it's knitting up really quickly because it's on 8mm needles, so it's very easy, quick to do. And I think the pattern is also written really well. She's adding in loads of you should have sewn so many stitches now, and you have done so and so many rows, and you have added so and so many new stitches now, just so that you have loads of sort of little checkpoints that you know you've done it right. And I'm really appreciating that she added that in, because I've not joined or I've not done constructions like this before a lot. I think I've done it once for the mauve sweater and that's it. So picking up the stitches for the shoulders, for example, she's describing that very well. And likewise for doing all the increases and so on to shape the front and then the back and joining it. Yeah, I'm very impressed by how she's written the pattern, and I think it's very easy to follow and logical. Even without any videos, I think Petite Knit would have added in less description and then said, go watch the video to be sure. So I really appreciate that. I think that's done very well. And yeah, I cannot wait to continue on. So I've joined the body and just kind of need to start knitting more and more for the body. But I think what I'll do is just pick up the stitches and do the arms. So finishing off with a bit of ribbing for the arms and then do the turtleneck. And then all I have left is the body, and once the body's finished, the whole thing is finished. I think it just looks always a bit more pleasing when you're knitting on something that has a few more aspects to it finished. And those are like little bits that I can do here and there, and then you feel like, yep, one more thing done. So I think that's what I'm going to do next, and then continue on with the body. But yeah, I'm very excited about it. It's my first slipover, and it's got to be interesting to see how it looks on me and how I can style it. I was saying before, I'm not entirely sure if the slipover vibe is my vibe, if I'm a slipover kind of gal, but I mean, we're gonna see. Just gotta put in the effort and then see. And if not, it's gonna be a lovely present for one of my friends. Okay, the other whip that I have going is actually my very own design, my first own design. I've started last, I want to say like October or so, came up with the idea and then started making swatches and just, yeah, I started by writing down loads of the pattern and then began knitting, and then it fell to the back burner because of Christmas and the whole shebang with December and Viva prep and everything. But it's back in my whip bag now, and actually, like, honestly, so far so good, like, knock on wood. I'm pretty impressed by how well it's going. I would have thought there'd be more hiccups along the way by now, but I'm liking it. I'm really liking it. It's gonna be a sweater for females, and it will be striped, as you can see, and then it'll have a special bit of adage at the end. I don't want to give away too much of it, just in case it changes or anything. Yeah, I think the increases that I've done is like in a way that I've not seen anywhere else before, so that's going to be interesting too. The only thing that I'm currently really worried about is the little ruffles here that you can see right below the neckband. I hope it's focusing. Yeah, that's sort of something I'm not too keen on. I don't want that in the finished object, and I'm not entirely sure it'll block out. I have a feeling it won't, just because yeah, it seems like it's folding the fabric. I don't know. I don't want those folds, and I want it to be clean and even. I'm not sure it'll block out. We'll have to see. I think I will finish the body just so that I can see what the ideas that I have for the hem look like and how they block, because I do think they also will need a bit of, they'll change with blocking. So I think I'll finish the body and then block before I start doing an arm, just to make sure that this flattens out. If not, I think I'll go back to the start. I'll have to unravel everything. How's that? I'll go back to the start though. I have a different method for the cast on as well now. And then what I would do is probably less increases, but more increased rounds, just so that I get my increases in. But I think maybe the amount of increases in that very first round after the neck is what have caused the ruffles. And yeah, we'll see though, we'll see. So far, I'm quite pleased. And yeah, just gotta keep going. It's again, I'm at the body part, so you just gotta work. Knitting this in Drops Lima, by the way, which I think, in my mind at least, I mean, tell me if you guys think differently, but it's sort of the Double Sunday dupe by Drops. I don't know, you tell me. But it's really lovely yarn to work with. This is the, I've went for the pure white that they have, and then the stripe is in this navy color, which is color 4305. There we go. Yeah, I think it's a lovely combination. Knits up very well. It's a lovely feel to it. It does really feel like Sunday, Double Sunday by Sandnes. And yeah, we'll see how it behaves once it's washed. That's the progress that I've made with all of this, and those are my current whips. In terms of acquisitions, I really only have one thing to show you guys. I said it in my 2023 what I want to knit video. I would really love to make the Arctic Light sweater, which was designed by CoCo, and she has just announced that she'll host a knit along, which has by now started. And I thought, you know what, get on it, Maria. First of all, I've never tried a knit along, and second of all, I wanted to make the sweater anyways, so why not just do it now? I have picked 2 yarns by Drops to make the sweater in, and that's my acquisition for this week. So it's Drops Lima in the color Chalk, and then Drops Kid Silk in the color Chalk. In her original sample, she is using Double Sunday by Sandnes in the color Chalk. How often can I say that word? And I really loved how it turned out. I loved how it's a little bit of an off-white that's moving towards a grey, and the mohair giving it that little bit of a halo and sheen. I think that was very pretty, but it's really pricey, so I decided to go with Drops. And if you ask me, I think Drops Lima is pretty much their answer to the Double Sunday, and the colors are often very similar too. The only thing that I'm finding is I can't find a really lovely color combination or color dupe for the almond Drops, for Double Sunday almond. But yeah, for this project, I think the chalk color from Drops Lima is working really well. I have started my swatch, but it's a little bit tricky because I usually swatch flat. I don't bother swatching in the round, but her charts are all in the round, so I kind of have to adapt a little bit, and it's a little bit more tricky than I would normally like it to be. But I think it's going to be a really pretty sweater once it's done. And it's going to be my first knit along, so that's really interesting, and it's exciting to knit with other people at the same time and see what issues we're all running into. And I think especially with a more complex cable design, it's good to have a bit of help and support. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing that, and hopefully next time I can show you guys that as one of my whips. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's a little bit of a different format, but I hope it was still cohesive and cool and interesting to watch. We'll see if we stick with it, depending on how it goes. Yeah, and let me know what you guys are working on right now. What's on your needles? What have you been knitting while you were watching this podcast? Let me know below. I would really love to see what other people are doing. I also wanted to just quickly ask, what are you guys watching while knitting? I feel like everybody is watching something or listening to something while they're knitting. They're usually not just sitting there in silence. So I love to watch any reality TV. I'm a little bit of a reality TV fan. So right now I'm going by a recommendation from Sandnes Garn. She's here on YouTube as well, or on Instagram too. And she said she's watching The Housewives of Salt Lake City. And they are drama. They are all that I want to see. So it's really good. It's very entertaining, very good fun. That's what I've been watching currently. And the rest is really just maybe friends rewatching that, or, oh, well, we've actually gone back to rewatch Still Game. I don't know if anybody is local to Glasgow. If you are, then you will probably know Still Game. It's a show about these two older guys who live in a made-up town, but it's looking like an outskirt from Glasgow. And they kind of just go through their day-to-day, and it's quite funny, all the characters that they have in the town, and it's very cultural humor, very much related to the area here. And I think if you're not from here or live here, then it's very hard to understand, and you probably just won't get why it's funny. But anyone who's from here loves it. So we've been watching a lot of that as well recently. But yeah, let me know what you guys have been watching. I'd really like to get some more recommendations in. And I just hope you found this entertaining, enjoyed it. If you want to, I'm on Instagram as well. I'm usually quite active there. So come on, say hi, and I hope to see you guys again soon in the next episode. Bye!